What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Beyond the Backboard Podcast, episode Big 49. One more episode away from 50.
Yeah.
And I actually found the exact day we posted, and turns out we hit a year in 15 days. So our 1 year anniversary will be on August 30th. Maybe we'll tune in. Maybe we'll do a little live to, celebrate. But
we have something special planned for that episode. I'll put it that way.
We have something very special planned.
We have Jalen Brunson himself coming on the podcast as a guest.
I will be meeting Jalen Brunson this Friday, though.
Tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that's right. Is tomorrow the 16th? Oh my god, Tomorrow's the 16th. Look at that. Okay.
Are you gonna get him to do the little I'm Jalen Brunson and you're watching the Beyond the Backboard podcast?
You know what? Maybe we'll see if I'm allowed to come to.
He's gonna be like,
if I'm allowed to, maybe.
Nice.
That's crazy work. It's good thing your camera lagged a bit, so nobody would really tell.
Brunson, nice to meet you.
Oh, that's
do it again. Don't worry.
I think he's gonna be sitting down, so I think it'll be better that way.
Yeah.
I'm also meeting Julius Randle.
A little bit taller than you.
Yeah, I'm also meeting Julius Randle, and
okay, he's taller than all of us. That would be us.
He's almost 7 foot.
He is.
He's almost 7 foot. I actually have an interesting question because I've been thinking about this for a while. I don't know if I ever posed this question to you, Max. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. And this is going to go off topic of whatever we had planned for today. I'm sorry. I know we just talked about it. But I was thinking of a couple of lineups in my head because there are literally so many options that the Knicks can take in this regard that, okay, Earl, thank you. in this regard, we can have Mikal Bridges as shooting guard, or we can have Donte DiVincenzo as shooting guard, right? So my main question here, how do you feel about sliding Julius Randle to the center position, limiting his work outside, keeping him inside the post, keep him grabbing rebounds? OG Anunoby at power forward, which he's shown he could guard centers, so I don't see any way, shape, or form that he can't guard power forwards. Mikal Bridges at shooting small forward, that's his original position. I don't see why not. Donte DiVincenzo at the 2, and Jalen Brunson at the 1.
That's a really good question, Omar. I think I'm going to let Earl take the first answer on this one.
Yeah, I think in all reality, doesn't matter. I'm just playing. I mean, honestly, either way the Knicks do it, I mean, I don't think they really have a problem as far as putting those guys together. I think it's still probably ideal for them to get a bigger body to run that center position. I don't know how taxing it will be for Julius Randle to have to go up against the best centers in the league every single night. So maybe as a flex option, if you want to go with a smaller closing lineup, you can run him at center. But for the duration of a whole season, I'm just not sure if that's something Julius Randle has done before. Y'all can fact check me if not, but I think
not for the Knicks.
He might be more comfortable running power forward, if I'm being honest.
And I'm sure he is,
which he's probably not going to be playing anymore since you got Mikal Bridges and stuff like that now. So yeah, I'd probably say get a big, put him next to him. In my honest opinion.
Yeah, I think the ideal lineup is still having a big in there, whether that's Mitchell Robinson, whether that's Precious Achiuwa, whether that's insert big that we trade for or sign out of free agency. I do worry about Randle playing big for stretches of time. I don't know if he has, quite frankly, the dog in him to go battle bigs the whole game, stay inside, do the dirty work. Maybe if we asked that of him and put him at the 5, maybe he would step up to the challenge, but from what I've seen with him at power forward, again, obviously there are different assignments there. Like you said, Omar, he's playing more on the outside, but he does have sometimes he does have a hesitancy to really lock in on defense, fight for boards, clean up around the paint, go inside and bruise sometimes, get a little bit shot happy on the outside. So I worry that at center, that's either going to get exposed even more, or maybe he will step up. So I do think we'll see it at some points. Like you said, certainly maybe closing lineups when you want to put Donte DiVincenzo out there along with kind of the core 4. I think it will happen at some point unless something drastic changes. I think we will see it. So we'll probably get an answer to this. But
they have so many different lineups that they can do.
The best lineup that we can still roll out in terms of fit and in terms of players playing just their natural positions would just be
Mitchell Robinson
in there. And DiVincenzo coming off the bench, I don't have much of a problem with that.
100%. And I'm not acting like I have a problem with it, because obviously, regardless, I think depth is not our problem. We can we've shown that we can put our bench players at the starting position and they could still do as well. My only gripe was, I can understand it, because wanting to keep Mitchell Robinson coming off the bench should be a priority for the Knicks. And I know that's going to seem a little weird to say, but unfortunately, in games where Mitchell Robinson is playing like 30 plus minutes, he's not doing well. And he's going to get injured more likely than not. We've seen it happen, and I don't see why we don't see it happen again.
Yeah, I mean, he's played. I don't think it's the minutes.
He hasn't played.
Problem. It's more.
He hasn't played more than 65 games in 4 years.
Ideally,
he hasn't played more than 65 games in 4 years, and that's unfortunately, as much as I love Mitchell Robinson, because for a year on this podcast, I've been saying, like, I think he can win Defensive Player of the Year in 5 years, or in less than 5 years. He'll be 30 by then, so he'll actually be in his prime. That's actually not a bad take. But regardless of that,
well, you're actually wrong. He played 3 seasons ago. He played 72 games.
My fault.
He was actually very injury free his first 4 years. He played 66 his rookie year, 61. Then he had a 31, but then he came back with 72 and 59. It was just really.
I think his problem was his weight as well, because, and admittedly, as much as a defensive monster was, like, his weight was a problem. He was pretty skinny for the type of center that he was. So
true, but I mean, also you typically want, if you can take a center a little skinny or a little heavy, you probably take skinny, because that's just less wear and tear, less weight on the lower extremities is probably better, if anything. You see what happens with like a Joel, 300 pounds, 290 pounds.
Yeah, but Joel falls everywhere. I feel like that's different. Like,
that doesn't help.
Really, I don't know what it is. His body language shows me that he's just in it to, like, I don't even want to say it. Never mind.
He's just in it to what?
I'm not going to say it.
He's in it to win it. Well, I'm glad you brought up Joel. That's a good.
I'm not going to say
segue.
I'm not going to say
it. Joel, who is a new gold medalist along with the rest of Team USA.
Oh,
No, it's been a couple
Earl
days.
Champions of what?
This is
Noah Lyles.
Since the US officially became world champions for like the 5th time in a row, I think. 5th time in a row, yeah.
We're on 5.
5th time in a row. I want to hear y'all's thoughts on those tournament games, especially, obviously Serbia and France, but also just any other games that stood out. But like, what were your instant reactions to those games? Watching along, seeing the play. How were you feeling in those games? Did you think we were actually going to lose at any point in those contests?
I never watched any of those games that felt like we were going to lose. Not a single one.
You were confident the whole way through, even when we were down.
When we were down, and
Serbia.
I have eyewitnesses for this. Like, I never felt like we were going to lose a game. The reason why is I feel like we have the best closers in the world. Like, it's easy to keep a lead. Like, it's easy to talk when you're up and stuff like that in the league in a big game like this. But how can I be scared when I got Steph Curry? He's on his own little thing. We got Kevin Durant. We got LeBron James over there. I mean, that's just like the big three. And then you got other guys like, I mean, he didn't really play a lot. Jason Tatum. You got Anthony Edwards. You got Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, even Joel. Like, he had his moments where he brought us back and helped close games. Like,
Joel played very well in the fourth quarter against Serbia. I will say he had his own little run there. He looked like.
But I think it really what happened was he got disrespected. Not like it's not like he was like fans or whatever, but it was just the way Jokic was just outplaying him. I feel like he had that moment like, okay, I gotta wake up. Like, this is Joel Embiid. This is a matchup that historically hasn't happened a lot in the last couple of years. Not saying Joel has been avoiding it, but we've seen all the memes about how every time it's time for Joel and Jokic, it just never happens. So to see those guys kind of have their moment to go back and forth. And Joel, like you said, you're right. He started that comeback. He was a main reason why. And of course, Stephen Curry. Shout out to Max. Me and Max had him our top 5 point guards. You already know what it is. Sorry, Omar. All love though. But yeah,
it's not about that. I just think there's
like Curry's top 5. That's just the conversation
all time for sure.
No, going into the season for sure. Bro,
you saw what he did.
Again, he's right there for me, brother.
No, he's there. He's not right there. He's there. He's there. There's no question, bro. I am taking Curry to have one of his. I said it before, I think he's gonna have one of his best offensive seasons in his career.
That's saying a lot.
I think he will. I think it's the Clay's gone, Clay left me type of vibe. It's me and Draymond, the young guys. I think he's gonna have a great season. Sorry.
I mean, he really already had last year. He was already spectacular. It just kind of got rounded out by just a subpar General Warriors team.
True.
I mean, it is funny how the narrative around Curry shifted so incredibly quickly because obviously he struggled. He really struggled in those first, all through all the exhibition games. Yeah. I think that second game against South Sudan, he was just getting he was 0 for, what was he, 1 for 9? He was getting blocked at the rim. I've never seen Steph Curry so just dejected and just out of it than he was in that South Sudan game. They just had his number, and you could tell he was not having a good time out there. To the point where he got benched, I think, for Derek.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think Steve Kerr handled that roster real well. I'm not gonna lie. I think he really, even though we still won gold, I think he still fumbled the ball in some regards. Not playing Jason Tatum at all is criminal.
I mean, but Tatum also didn't really. You could argue he didn't really earn the minutes. And when you're playing important games against Serbia and France, you can't put out guys on there just because of name. Tatum didn't. I don't think he hit a jump shot in all of the Olympics.
Yeah, he was on a crazy 0-12 streak, something crazy.
0 for 16, I think he ended on anything that was a jump shot, not like a dunk or a layup. You can't.
Don't get me wrong.
I understand he's Tatum, but at some point you got to justify players out there. Some games he was just on a slump, but that slump can't cost the U.S. a shot at gold.
And it's different. We think about the players in front of him. It's not like scrubs. It's Kevin Durant, LeBron James for those minutes. Those guys.
It's a stacked forward lineup.
LeBron was the MVP of the Olympic basketball. Kevin Durant was right there behind him. Steph Curry was right there behind them. So when you have that type of big three at that position, it was he just wasn't what he was producing wasn't beneficial to put him out on the court at times. And yes, there was close games, close calls, but at the same time, the legends of the games, what they are, they took care of it as they should.
So in 2020, his last Olympics games in Tokyo.
21, but
21. I'm sorry, you're right.
It's the 2020. It was the weird one.
Yeah, he played 6 games, averaged 20 minutes a game, 15 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, 1 assist, and 1 block while shooting 49% from the field and 44% from 3.
Who's on the roster?
Well, those last Olympics, I will say.
I will tell you that most of those players are still there. Kevin Durant is still there. Devin Booker is still there. Bam Adebayo is still there. I mean, Dame Lillard there. Drew Holiday there.
No, Dame Lillard wasn't there.
But you didn't name anybody playing Jason Tatum's position. Because I'm assuming these
Durant was
Durant.
I think without LeBron, Tatum definitely gets a lot more minutes. It's
Probably.
And he did get some minutes. He did get his opportunities. I just don't think he showed, much in those minutes. And you got to think about play styles as well. U.S. basketball is not about isolation. I think we made that very clear that, Steve Kerr played the guys who fit the system, who are willing to pass the ball around, who are willing to play defense, who weren't just going to sit there and isolate. Yep. I think that's why you saw Tatum, A, not have very good games, and B, also, as a result, get sat maybe a little bit prematurely. Maybe he was on a bit too short.
Who were the bigs on that team again, Omar?
Did he even really play? I'm sorry, on that team?
Yeah, besides Bam. Because you got to think about that too, right? When this team, we have bigs.
Bam Adebayo, Draymond Green, JaVale McGee.
Okay, then look, timeout. Now you got
Grant. That team was not on the same level.
You have Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis, Bam.
Pretty sure they still won.
We did win that. Yeah.
I'm saying roster. I'm saying roster comparison. Now you're in a situation where you have big, so you can't have a whole bunch of flex lineups with Tatum out there with Kevin Durant all the time. Because now Kevin Durant can play the backup small forward for Bron, or if they check in, they'd rather have Bron and KD than Bron and Tatum. It's just a fact. Those guys just work better together. So it's just a different type of roster. And then Max was saying it best too. It's not an isolation type of game. And Tatum, his game is I don't want to say purely based on isolation basketball, but he's another guy who needs the ball in his hand a lot to create his own offense. And he's not. He can get assists and stuff like that. But you'd rather have LeBron who can pretty much play make anytime he wants and go get a bucket anytime he wants to, than how Tatum was playing and not being a good catch and shooter. Like we talk about the Derek Whites. I'm sorry, I disrespected him in the beginning, but he played his role perfectly. Derek White, Devin Booker, those guys, A+.
Devin Booker gets MVP in terms of being a role player. He absolutely 100%. Fit this team perfectly. It was so much fun to watch him.
100%. And he has the best vlogs. Shout out to Booker for that.
I haven't watched his vlogs, but he really impressed me with how he was able to just play the perfect shooting guard spot, like perfect fit.
Yeah, he really did. Devin Booker did excel beyond my expectations of him, so I am proud of him for finally like taking that step and really showing that he can be a top player. And yeah, looking back at it, this team is much different.
I mean, listen, I think
it
is much different, but I could still argue that Jason Tatum still should have played over some people. Like I could still
people he should have played over.
Tyrese Halliburton.
He didn't play.
Oh no, he didn't play that much. Okay.
Tyrese didn't play at all, but he was just there for vibes.
I wouldn't say over, but at least splitting minutes with Anthony Edwards. I feel like that would have been fair.
Edwards is a guard though. Ant did his role as a backup guard. Him and Booker. Okay. Those were like the Curry and Drew Holiday.
Okay, then split. Then give my man LeBron James a break.
Give him a break.
If we give LeBron more of a break, I don't know if we win gold. I'll be honest.
Maybe
maybe against like the South Sudans and the Puerto Ricos and the Brazils. Yeah, like okay, he probably could have distributed the minutes a little bit. He could have spread it out more. He could have given Tatum and Halliburton maybe more minutes. In those
I'm saying, if it was Greg Popovich, he would have found the way.
I mean, you can say that, but you know,
we won. That's the thing.
I mean, I get it. That's what I'm saying, and I'm saying like I could still appreciate when they win, and I could still make that judgment where I still think like the coaches didn't do a phenomenal job. Like I could still say, yeah, we won gold. Yeah, we did really good in the finals against France. Mm-hmm. But I can also say Steve Kerr shouldn't be back as a Team USA head coach.
I just don't see how a guy can go undefeated and get fired. It's not like we dropped games at all. I mean, we came close.
It's not about getting fired. I think Eric Spoelstra can do the same thing.
But they won. I think this is a prime example. It's like the anti-Darvin Ham.
Stop it.
I'm so serious. The difference here, Steve Kerr won all these games. Like the risks and gambles he took at the end of the day, games were won. If you have a Darvin Ham situation when you lose all the games, then yeah, you can talk about being fired, but we can't just normalize firing people for winning games.
Listen, are there things that could be cleaned up on Steve Kerr's end? 100%.
I mean, didn't that happen with Milwaukee?
Olympics, but I don't think
didn't that happen with y'all and Luke Walton? Or Luke Walton?
We were losing when we fired Luke Walton.
But I thought you guys won, and then you fired a coach, right? Am I wrong? I'm sorry.
Frank Vogel.
But that was Frank
Vogel. Yes, I'm sorry. I mixed it up
later though.
I mixed up.
Like a year and a half later though. So I already said that was a scapegoat.
Yeah. I mean, you could argue firing Steve Kerr would be a little bit like firing Frank Vogel, and we all know that wasn't a good move for the Lakers. Yeah, I mean, listen, I do think I hear what you're saying, Omar. And could Jason Tatum have been given a little bit longer of a leash? You know, he is a proven superstar. Could Steve Kerr have given him a little more time to turn things around and shoot himself out of the slump and kind of adjust? I think you could definitely make that argument. You know, maybe he didn't get enough of an opportunity, but he also did not play very well.
Yeah, ultimately, that's what I feel.
To warrant, so it's kind of both. You know, if he had played more, he probably would have played better. So limiting him made him play worse. It's like
it's kind of like that conversation. It's kind of how you feel about Quentin Grimes. Think about it like that. If he just had the minutes and he had the shots,
he'd find his rhythm.
Yes.
I can.
How is Jason Tatum supposed to find his rhythm in the small sample size that you got to give him? And you know what? I get it. I get it. But at the same time, I feel like it's not more about the team, because I feel like the team would have won regardless. I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like whether the team had Steve Kerr as a head coach or Tyronn Lue or even Mark Few, I feel like this team would have won only because LeBron is on this team. He's 39 years old of age. Not only does he have the mind to run an offense directly on the floor and do his thing, but he's got the best, one of the best point guards who's ever lived, Steph Curry, the man that played the perfect role, Devin Booker, and arguably another top 5 player NBA all time, Kevin Durant. So when you put,
let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Really? Okay, fine. Top 5 scorer, top 3 scorer of all time.
Yeah.
Regardless, and then you also got Joel Embiid and Anthony Davis. Like, this team is fucking great. It's not Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart playing big minutes. There's levels to this shit.
We're not going to see another team this good, at least for the U.S., for probably another 15, 20
years. And unfortunately, that's the case. And I'm going to say this now. I don't feel like we're going to see a lot of Jalen Brunson in the Olympics. You know why? Smaller guys don't tend to do well in the Olympics. That's a fact.
Jalen Brunson, I respect him. We have funny.
He's not doing well in the Olympics,
but we all know that Olympics, it was hard to watch, and it wasn't his fault.
Listen, we'll see. We'll see what the point guard field looks like.
So I may be wrong in some regard, but Jalen Brunson in that Olympic or not the Olympics, FIBA. He had like good percentages. He wasn't taking bad shots. He only got like 5 or 6 a game.
I forget.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But this is how I remember it, because the things that I was looking for was the fact that, okay, is Jalen Brunson consistent? And if he was consistent, I don't care if he doesn't score a lot.
Very inconsistent.
Yeah, if he was.
I just remember, but I could be wrong. I'm just gonna look just to see.
I don't know. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But that's what I remember. I remember looking at consistency.
I just remember seeing Austin Reeves have to backpack off the bench, because the dudes didn't want to do their job.
True. I mean, that's what there is only so much you can't take from FIBA. Like, you can take some parts, but you also can't say, well, Austin Reeves warrants a spot on the Olympic team now because
absolutely not. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we'll see what the point. I mean, obviously Halliburton will be there in 4 years. I think that's pretty. There's a reason they put him on this team.
Do you realize even when he did play, he played good. It's just the guards ahead of him were just better. Like, you can't bench Curry.
I know that.
You can't bench Ant at this moment in time. Like, they're gonna do this.
White, Drew Holiday.
I understand. There are some situations that you just can't do that.
But I do think Halliburton will be the starting point guard in 28, unless something drastically changes.
Maybe a Cade, because I remember last year they said
Jalen Brunson
Cade had
6
one
inches.
of the best performances on the. You know how they have those scrimmages
teams or scrimmages. Yeah,
so I can see Cade. You just gotta stay healthy. Yeah. Oh, Ja.
I don't think Ja would.
I think he would.
They didn't even call Ja for this, huh?
I mean, yeah.
They didn't even give him a ring.
I'm assuming he's still rehabbing, but I don't know if Ja's maybe in 4 years things change. But he doesn't seem like the kind of player, like you said, small guards, and he's a very ISO heavy guard. Doesn't bring much.
Assist guy though.
Doesn't seem like the kind that would do well in the Olympics. His game, I don't think it suits it very well. He's more of an NBA.
I think he'll do. I think he would thrive in the Olympics.
I think he would.
We can revisit this conversation in 4 years.
We can revisit this conversation. I unfortunately,
I'm sure he will be in the the select pool. I'm sure he will get a consideration.
I think most of these guys are going to be filtered out. Kevin Durant, Anthony, not really Anthony Davis, and Kevin Durant.
Maybe he'll be 35. Bron's not going to be there.
He said he'll do it. He said
he'll do 24.
Yeah, he said he'll do it.
Who?
He said if all things line up, then he'll be back. Anthony Davis.
Okay.
Yeah, it is in Los Angeles, so especially if he's still a Laker, then that'll.
It's just like I'll wake up, go to the arena, 5 minutes on the street. Why not?
I mean, true, but then you could also argue, and this is an unanswerable question right now, but do we really want 35-year-old Anthony Davis on this team at that point?
Yes.
Is he going to be?
Hands down, yes.
I'm not going to respond to that.
Hands down.
I'm going to remain
a lot. 30. We're getting used to guys being still elite at 35. Like Durant's still elite at 35. Steph is elite at 36. Bron's obviously elite at 39. But like
Bron is Bron. Bron is a freak of nature.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Bron's different. That's 30.
Is Anthony Davis still going to be a top 5 center in the NBA when he's 35?
We'll have to wait and see.
I think that's a valid question to ask. Because I mean, you think Chet? There's a good chance Chet will be in that conversation.
Chet will be on this team. in 4 years.
Yeah, there's a good chance Chet will be there. There's a
Hopefully
good
he
chance.
puts some muscle. He has 4 years to build that muscle up because it's not soft overseas.
Fair. He's got to develop.
He's got time. He's got plenty of time. He's got time.
I mean, Paolo, will probably
Paolo's
be in that
going to be there.
conversation.
From that small forward, we got.
Maybe one of the guys we just got drafted. Maybe a
Zion the guy you bring for energy, regardless. I mean, he's skilled. I mean, yeah, he had one of his best offensive seasons this year too, even though he got a little bit injured towards the end. But
Bam will be there. Bam will certainly be there.
Bam will still be there.
Joel, maybe. I mean, Joel will be 33, so
he said he's team offense. I don't know.
If he's still an MVP and he wants to play for US, he'll be back. So
he'll be 30. He'll be 34. He'll be 34 or 35.
If I'm not mistaken, he said that he's considering playing for his home country next time. So I don't know if we'll have Joel Embiid available.
Yeah, he did say he's not.
We're throwing darts at we're throwing blind darts here.
Yeah.
I think he's honestly just gonna go and play for Cameroon at this point because I don't see him.
James is gonna be the starting or backup 2 guard. We already know that. He's gonna be a top player in 4 years easily.
Who?
Ronnie James. We ball. Hey, we don't know. We don't know.
On the select team, he would be elite. He can be the Langston Galloway of that team. When Langston Galloway retires, he can pass the torch to Bronny James.
Right, let's talk about this. Why does the Olympics make it so hard for NBA players to compete in the 3v3 conversations?
Actually, that's a really good question because I watched one of the 3-on-3 games and I'm like, why don't we send NBA players to this? We got Jimmer there who's former, but I guess I understand that it's you're supposed to get a team in practice and scrimmage and those guys have been preparing for this as a unit for a while. Mm-hmm. But are you really telling me we couldn't just pick 3 NBA guys who want to do it and send them out there and they wouldn't win?
They won't even let overtime guys do it.
Is it a ban? Is it an official regulation thing, or is it just we don't send them?
Is there?
They won't even let Ice Cube's league. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I heard about that. I don't know how much truth there is to Ice Cube saying that they want to send their all-stars for a 3v3 contest. I don't know if that's true or not.
That's completely different from Olympics.
Why not? That only boosts his brand.
No, I'm saying this is what I want to know. What is the regulation on NBA players playing in 3-on-3 Olympics? I don't care about
apparently the tryouts are during the playoffs. Right?
There's a lot of teams that don't make the playoffs who have
I know.
No, but I'm saying
it says NBA players are allowed to qualify and WNBA players.
Then we're gonna cook. We're gonna cook next year. I'm telling you.
I think they're actually co-gendered in that one.
No, there's 2 different. There's men's.
It's men's and there's men's and women's V3. I thought it was.
You got bronze and women's. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was.
Yeah, we got bronze.
Personally, I think we should just send because they'll all probably be out the league or in their last league. We should just send Bron, Curry, and Durant to the 3-on-3.
That'd be funny.
That would be
43-year-old Bron, 40-year-old
Durant,
because they can all definitely play at that age.
But the only thing is,
they won't even be NBA players. They'll probably be retired at that point.
The clock doesn't stop. The game for that, I feel like you got to send young guys because the game it does not stop. It's continuous.
It's a very fast-paced game.
It's unless you call a timeout or something like that. It's just continuous basketball. The clock is always running. Once the next play goes up, everybody's already in the ball.
Those teams are full of older players, though.
Yeah, but they've been doing that. I'm saying, to send Bron, KD out there. I mean, I don't know if you're gonna have to have a young sub or something like that. I don't know if they're just gonna go out there and play like that.
Let's not.
That
would be a little mean. But if anyone could do it. Be those 3. I think that'd be hilarious.
Dude, they're NBA players. They're at the top of the totem pole.
I'm just talking about 43-year-old LeBron at that point. It's 43. Yeah. I know he's doing what he's doing now. I still think he's a top. We already talked about he's a top player, obviously, going into the season. But
then you could argue it's a half-court game, so there's not as much. It's not running back and down, back and forth all the time. You could argue that the 40-year-olds could hold their. It is a very fast-paced game, but they're not constantly running as much.
I say you send over a vet and then you send over some young guns the dudes who are close to making the Olympic team, put them on the 3v3 team. Dudes who just didn't quite make it.
I don't know. I mean, this is only, I think, the second year it's been in the Olympics. It hasn't been around for very long. So,
and we got some fun stuff coming to Olympics. So, we got flag football, we have softball and baseball coming, we got cricket coming. A lot of crazy
stuff.
That'll
be really fun.
2024. So,
cricket's gonna be lit. I want to see cricket.
I'm not gonna lie.
Those sadly will not be there.
Anymore. That's cooked. Sorry, Australia. A whole lot of home cooking over there. If y'all follow that story, well, I'll give a brief. If you guys didn't follow the story, basically the lady, I don't remember her name. I'm sorry. She home cooked the whole thing. Basically, her husband was on the committee for that team. He was a judge, and she was on the board. So basically, they home cooked and made sure that she made it all the way to the Olympics, so she can have her Kodak moment. I don't know why she wanted that picture saved for everybody in the world to see, but it took away from a lot of good people in Australia who can actually dance from getting an opportunity to win a medal. So
that's
just sparking notes,
bro.
Absolutely insane.
And that resulted in. I'm sorry, and that resulted in what?
It was so embarrassing that I think they're just not going to have any breakdancing in 28. They just canceled the whole event. They so purely.
That's a good idea.
I'm sure the ratings weren't good anyways, but
I don't think that should have been an Olympic sport.
How do you make that mistake of letting someone's husband be a judge who sends people to the Olympics, and then the lady competing is on the board of Australia for the team? How do y'all let that happen? I don't know, bro.
It's almost like when you get an NBA player and they have so much influence on their team that they're able to just get any family member they want drafted onto the team. Like that would never happen.
Or it's just like coaching staffs. Like if your dad was on the coaching staff and he kind of got his son to sign a contract.
That wouldn't happen.
It wouldn't happen.
That's crazy. No.
Never heard that happening before.
No, never.
Or we can't even talk about ownership.
Well, I'll tell y'all this. That's why they come from the land down under.
Anyway, land down under. I guess real quick we can look at the FIBA awards. Obviously, Bron won FIBA MVP. I think it is cool that they give. I didn't know that they actually give an official MVP, but FIBA gave it to LeBron. Cool. First team was, I believe, Bron, Curry, Jokic, Wemby, and Dennis Schroeder.
Oh, okay. Dennis Schroeder. Oh, yeah. I forgot he was tearing it up a little bit.
I think Dennis Schroeder is different.
I mean, it's so weird, bro. It's really
it's weird. It's a little bit of polar bear in Arlington, Texas, but when you look at the stats, he deserves. He made that.
It's like when you with your friends, like you act different than you are when you're chilling with your family at times. Like it's just a different type of vibe, and I feel like it's the same for Olympic basketball. Like, hey,
what does that mean for the New York Knicks? What does that mean for the New York Knicks?
Absolutely nothing.
Oh, really?
I didn't get that connection, but
he's going for like the playing with your friends angle.
Oh.
Because that hasn't been talked about at all, obviously.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, what? Wait. Say that one more time, Earl. A little louder.
I'm letting Max finish what he was saying.
No. I want to hear what you said.
Max was mid dialogue.
I'm sorry, but I couldn't hear you. That's why I wanted to make sure you got the thought across.
Go ahead, Max.
All I'll say is I think it's criminal that Kevin Durant didn't get on that team. That Kevin Durant, despite being debatably the most consistent player for Team USA this run, has now been overshadowed not just by LeBron, but also Steph Curry. And I'll be the first to say Steph Curry absolutely bailed us out, and we do not beat Serbia without Steph Curry. We probably don't beat France without Steph Curry.
Yes.
But Kevin Durant, the fact that it's now going to go down as the Curry Olympics / LeBron Olympics, people are forgetting how elite Kevin Durant was and how every single game he stepped up and scored, not just throughout the game, but also scored big buckets in big moments. And he was out there during all the big moments. So I think it's a little sad that Durant's going to get kind of swept under the rug. And this was also his 4th gold medal, which is not being talked about at all, basically.
Me personally, from my point of view, it was the big 3 Olympics. And that's what I'm going to stick with when I tell my kids in the future.
I agree. I think you got it. It's the big 3, but it's like Durant. It's like Curry has 2 good games, and all of a sudden that's enough to get him on the first team.
Yeah, that is true, too. And then people try to argue that LeBron should have been MVP. But, I mean, if we can't erase, like Max said earlier, we can't erase every game that happened. So, like, in the Olympics, Curry was not there. I think Ant-Man said it best. Like, I seen that funny clip where he's like, it's about time you showed that we've been waiting for you or something like that about his performances. Like, it's just true. Like, we were talking about, we had conversations about what's wrong with Curry. Is he not ready for Olympics right now? What's going on? It was that bad. So I'm glad, like Mike said, he kind of changed things around those last couple games. I mean, we don't win without him. We don't win gold without him. We don't win gold without Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, people forget. When I gave that hot take about Kevin Durant not needing warm up, he came off the bench 21 and only missed 1 shot.
You were right. You were right. That aged perfect.
Crazy.
That was a good take.
And I will never forget that. So for me, I'm gonna spread the good word of Kevin Durant around town that it was Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Steph Curry who won the Olympics, and we will never see them play again ever on the same team. And I will appreciate what I watched. I will have that. I'm gonna watch. It's on the DVR. I'm watching that whenever I need a good cry about basketball.
Good cry is crazy.
A good cry about basketball.
Because I think Max said it earlier. Like, how did you feel when you were watching? I felt like I was happy, but I was like a little sad. Like, this is our childhood. Like, these are guys I grew up watching, and this was like their last chapter. Like, as far as like playing together. So it definitely is a little bit emotional. I'm not saying I'm going to see her.
It's sad that Carmelo Anthony wasn't even on this team too.
Listen,
I mean,
I won't rant.
We need the banana boat squad back
now, but he could have done the Tyrese Halliburton.
What, you want D-Wade back too?
Yeah, I miss D-Wade too.
He could. We got plenty of D-Wade in this Olympics. I'm D-Waded out for the next little bit.
Well, it felt like D-Wade was there. It felt
like I noticed it more than I noticed Tatum, to be honest.
You seen that picture with Wade in the background? And they're like, "Dang, Wade's mad because Bron didn't dap him up." I was like, "Bro, y'all read into anything." I was like, "Bro, he's just watching."
People got a lot of time on their hands.
Yeah,
people got a lot of time these days.
Yeah, people just love to.
The greatest Olympian of all time for basketball,
Kevin Durant by far.
KD, Carmelo, right underneath. Sorry, Max.
Until Durant gets 37 and 14.
Bro,
it's 1A and 1B, but you give it up to the OG. You give it up to the guy who came before you. It's like a lot of people argument people make with MJ and LeBron. It's like they're 1 and 1A, but like you give it to the guy who did it first. Credit to the OG.
Or the guy who's still doing it. What? He has 4 now. Leading in points, leading in rebounds, and not only men's, but women's too. Olympic basketball points in general.
Melo got
put on a wig and
set
the record.
Melo should have won that year.
I mean, yeah, but it happens, bro. It happens.
And listen, Durant still number 2, and I'll be the first to say he bailed it. We don't win gold, we don't even probably medal in 2021 without Durant. He was captain. He was Captain Durantula that year. He was Captain Durant. He carried us in 21.
And the thing is, Durant had crazy games when he played with Melo too. Like they both had crazy games. Because I was looking at that other day.
12 and 16.
Was 20. What was it? 2012 or 2014? Which year?
2012. They were both fantastic. I mean, that was Durant, Melo, and LeBron. They all were incredible that year in 12.
No. I don't think I'm talking about that year. Hold on.
They only played together 12 and 16. They played together 12 and 16. Durant and Melo. If we're talking purely Olympics, I don't know about FIBA, but I don't think Melo.
No, I think I might be talking about FIBA because we were looking at comparing.
Durant's done FIBA. I think Durant did FIBA a couple times. Durant's just always been locked in.
Yeah. This is the team I'm talking about. One of the craziest. Oh, is this the one? No. This is not the one. Because I don't see Kevin Durant on this one. Maybe it was 2012.
12 was, I personally think that 2012 team was better than the 2008 Redeem team. And I'll stand on that. I think 12 really put the smack down on the world. Like, they were winning games by 50. Like, straight up. They won by 40 and 50 in 2012. Like, it was basically just the 08 team, but a little bit older, a little bit more mature, and slightly better bench depth. I think that 12 team is very under-talked about.
Wait, I'm sorry. I had to put the dog away. I'm sorry.
What's the dog doing? I was saying over here. He was chilling. Slightly better than the 2008 Redeem team. Everyone talks about the Redeem team, but 2012 was legit.
Redeem team was nasty too.
Go look at 2012's roster, bro. Go look at that roster.
Yeah, we did this because we did. Shout out to Quest Rate team. We did a comparison between. I want to get the year right. I'm pretty sure it's 2012. Is that the one with like James Harden and stuff on it?
Yeah, 12 had Harden, Westbrook, Bron, Melo, Kobe, Anthony Davis, prime Kevin Love, prime Iguodala.
Yeah. Okay, this is the roster. Yeah, and we had a conversation. Which team was better, that team or this year? And I said that team.
This year,
hands down. No, bro, 2014 was better than this year.
You mean 2012
or 2012? Yeah, 2012.
It's close. I might give this team a slight edge.
I can't. If we go bag for bag, prime for prime, like players in their prime for prime. That was OKC Kevin Durant.
No, that was Bron, Curry, and Durant are not in their prime right now.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like right now, those guys were in their prime compared to this team right now.
True.
Bag for bag, you have prime James Harden. We're talking about James Harden now. James Harden is James Harden.
I gotta back you on. I gotta stop you. This was 2012. This was before Harden had played for Houston yet. This was still OKC Harden, I think.
Let me check.
He wasn't Harden yet. He was. I think he was coming off his last season with OKC.
He was James.
Let me see.
His name was James.
He was just James.
2012.
He didn't have, I don't even think he had the full beard yet. I think it was just kind of like a little bit. He hadn't like.
He probably started growing it.
Well,
he started growing. He wasn't like me. He wasn't clean shaven.
The ego came with the beard.
2012,
the ego came with the beard.
He was putting up 25 points a game that year.
Whoa.
In 2011, 2012?
Or 2012, 2013.
See, that's the year.
So it might have been.
That's the year. That's his first year with Houston. That's what I'm saying. This happened right between.
So this
Olympics was
in 2012.
What?
Was it? Okay, so that Olympics was 2011, 2012.
No, the Olympics was the summer of 2012, preceding the 2012-2013 NBA season.
So after or before?
Before. It was after 2011, 2012, before 2012, 2013. It's the summer of 2012.
I mean, that's still James Harden, though.
It is. It was like the year before he took off. This was like right.
That's still James Harden, though.
But prime James Harden is 2018 Harden.
He's only 22 at the time. I mean, he's right there.
Yeah, he's a little before his prime.
Yeah.
And a little before prime Westbrook.
A little bit.
But still, I mean, listen, you can make the argument. You can make that argument. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, 2012 is criminally underrated. Like, I think they're a top 3 team of all time, if not still top 2.
I think they're up there.
Like, Dream Team, no one's going to touch the Dream Team. But, like, and 96 was actually also very underrated. 96 was a really good team.
What, Dream Team?
Wait a second. We're talking about the team with Chris Paul, Carmelo Anthony, Darren Williams, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kevin Love, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, Tyson Chandler, and Andre Iguodala.
Yeah.
And y'all are saying that's not better than this year's team?
I literally said it was.
Okay,
it's close.
We're talking. It's prime Kevin. That's Minnesota Kevin Love, right?
Bro, that's Minnesota Kevin Love.
That's Minnesota.
That's also Kobe Bryant. That's also Kevin Durant. That's also Darren Williams.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so are you guys putting that team number 2 out
James
of all the
Harden? James Harden shot 57% from the free throw. Wait, no, I'm sorry. I read the wrong thing. Sorry.
Whoa! Wow, Vader.
Okay. I wasn't that much off track. He shot 50% from the field. James Harden shot 50% from the field.
So half his shots went in. That's
That's good enough.
I gotta love a good
Andre Iguodala is 70.
Unrelated, but shout out to Joe Harris who retired. About 30 minutes ago.
Joe Harris died?
Yeah, he retired. Shout out to Joe Harris.
Damn, I feel like he was only in the league for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, but he retired.
I
didn't let out there.
Wow, fair enough.
Yeah.
But are you guys putting this? So you guys are putting 2012 as the number 2 team of all time behind Dream Team?
I'm not saying really. Look, this all I'm saying is
because what other team is there that would beat that? If you're saying it's over this year, who beats that?
I'm just saying, like bar for bar, player for player. I think that team.
Let's compare these rosters.
Crazy.
I feel like we need. I know, but I feel like Max is not getting it.
I was the one who brought up 2012 in the first place. I was the one who said they're better than the 2008 Redeem Team that everyone juices.
Wait, are we saying
we think that's the case?
Okay,
I think that's the case.
You guys are taking it even, and I'm not necessarily disagreeing. I just didn't think that you guys would consider putting them above this year.
I think
I can get behind it. I just didn't even think that was in the realm of possibility.
Because once you look at LeBron, KD, and Curry, that's like S tier, and then there's like a drop off as far as like this team. No offense to the guys on this roster, but like the other
only guy missing from the squad is Steph Curry, and that arguably.
Oh yeah, no, if Curry was on that team, then I mean, hands down.
Well, again, that was a little bit pre-Steph Curry. That was like That was.
But they also had Chris Paul, Darren Williams, and James Harden, so they didn't really.
Chris Paul and Darren Williams were probably the 2 best point guards.
Chris Paul? What are you talking about? That's Chris Paul.
Chris Paul.
That is prime Chris Paul. Maybe
not Chris Paul.
Bro, that's Chris Paul. What are we talking about?
And let's not forget they have Tyson Chandler too.
Yeah. I mean, he was the worst. He was the weak link on that team, but like still
And
defensive
that
player.
version
He won
Tyson
defensive player of the
Chandler-
year the next year and was
Yeah,
coming
he
off
was
the
a
championship
dog.
with Dallas.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing,
What
bro.
team?
Like that team, everybody, pretty much everybody on that team was either the best version of himself or going into it. Like Max said, like
Yeah, like
guys were,
right
like 1 or 2
before.
years off from being top players all time.
But we also have the benefit of hindsight with those guys. We don't know where Halliburton's going to be in 4 years. We don't know where Tatum or 10 years. We don't know where
Carmelo
Tatum's
did
gonna be.
average 33. That's kind of insane. For
Yeah.
36 minutes.
Bro, you have prime Melo, prime Kevin, bro, and Bron. What are we talking about, bro?
Kobe
What?
So is
Bryant.
that the second
Kobe
best
Bryant.
team of
Let
all
me-
time then behind Dream Team?
Let me give y'all a rundown. Russell Westbrook averaged 22.
Right
LeBron
now-
averaged 19. Kobe
Points
averaged
or minutes?
25 points.
Okay.
And this is per 36. Sorry.
Oh,
This
well,
is per 36.
don't get per 36. Give like actual points.
Okay, wait, let me find it.
Are we talking this on the USA team?
Yeah, this is the USA team.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Okay.
was about to say,
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
give the
okay.
real juice.
Tyson
That's-
Chandler 4, Russell Westbrook 8.5, LeBron James 13.3.
Crazy how that difference hits.
Kobe 12.1. Yeah, it was. I did preface it was per 36. But
That's a bro stat.
Carmelo Anthony averaged 16.3.
Yeah, he was the dog.
And Kevin Durant averaged 19.5.
Yeah,
Wow.
because that was the year where they both. I'm pretty sure we have multiple guys with 30 points.
Mhm.
If I can go
Yeah,
look
I
at
mean,
it.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that team is right. They're at the sharp end. Like,
Kevin
they're
Durant.
underrated. 96. If you want to look at the 96 team,
Was that
they're
actually?
never going to get talked about because they were like the non-Michael
Did
Jordan.
they win?
team.
They won gold, right? That year.
96? Oh, yeah, they dominated.
No, I'm talking about this team. 12.
Oh, 2012? Oh, yeah, they
yeah,
steamrolled.
okay.
Maybe they had a tough game in the finals
Couldn't
against
remember.
Spain, but like for the most part, they blew teams out by 40.
Yeah, they did.
That's
It wasn't
crazy.
close.
Yeah,
They did.
yeah.
I don't know. I think that team and 2096 are underrated teams that
Mhm.
don't get talked about enough.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, that team was nasty, bro. What?
It was
Like
absolutely-
08 was also very
AD was
good.
on that
Like,
team?
08 kind of just had all the same guys, but slightly earlier. And did
Why am I not
2012 have
realizing-
Wade? Was Wade on 12 or no?
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't 12. He was only 8.
Yeah,
Okay.
he wasn't there.
I
It was
swear Wade was
Tyson
there.
Chandler, Kevin Durant, LeBron, Russell Westbrook, Darren Williams, Kobe Bryant, Kevin Love, James Harden, Chris Paul, Anthony Davis, and Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, and that was the last time to this point at least that we took a player straight out of college. AD had just been drafted. He wasn't.
Okay, so that's why I was getting confused. That's the year. Okay, AD didn't really play. He forgot his jersey when he got a chance to check in. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he was there. He didn't really play, but he was the straight out of college guy.
I don't know why
He was
I got
basically
to-
Halliburton, but like it's the last time we took a pick from college and put him on the team.
Yeah.
That's how good
Okay.
he was.
Now my memory's flashing back to me. Yes, that was the best, bro. That was pin you off the glass, LeBron. Like I'm jumping out. Yeah,
He's done. He did that in this Olympics. He pinned a couple
Yeah.
people off the glass too.
no, that is true. But bro, people don't realize like Bron was so. He's such an athletic freak, and that's a compliment. I know it sounds crazy.
I don't think anyone.
Now, the way he was jumping and dunking and blocking people off the rim, normal people, like normal athletes, still like don't match his athleticism at 39. Like it's not even as high.
It is. It's crazy.
It's
Yeah.
absolutely insane. When I see Bron dunk, I was like, bro, how? Like some of those slow mo cams, I'm like, bro, how's his head right there?
Bro, let's get it straight. LeBron doesn't want to retire. He probably, you know what? Let me rephrase that. I'm sorry, I already fucked it up. LeBron doesn't need to retire. He wants to retire.
That is
Yeah.
true, like
If LeBron was literally just like,
Yeah.
if he let's say pulled a Kevin Durant and is like, basketball is my whole life. I have no
Yeah.
family. I have like nothing. Like I'm just
Yeah.
here. To
That's a little
play basketball
concerning,
as long as I
actually.
can. I'm a pure hooper. He could play till he's 50, legit, and play
Mhm.
minutes.
I would say if Bronny decided like when he was a teenager that he just wasn't interested in basketball, I think Bron would have retired like a year or two ago, if I'm being honest.
Probably. I think it would have been.
The only reason he's still going right now is because like the chance. Well, one, he's just great, obviously. That's just
Yeah,
we already know that.
that
I think
doesn't.
I think he wants to play till he's 40.
I think he just wants to play with his kid. I think he'll be satisfied with that and see what takes him there. Nobody's done it, which is kind of crazy. Well, I guess it's not crazy, but
In basketball, no one's done it.
basketball it is wild.
I mean, there's been a couple of examples in the EuroLeague of that happening. Isaiah Hartenstein played with his father.
That is true. Well, I don't. Yeah, that was professional basketball, but in the NBA, we'll probably never see this again unless Tatum sticks around till he's 44 to play with Deuce.
True. It would have to be like somebody who literally had a kid when they were like,
right now,
20,
like right now,
like 19. You have to have a kid at like 19 or 20 and still be good enough 19 years later. To where teams want you.
True, I agree.
It's like if Vince Carter had a kid and was able, was anyone gonna pick Vince Carter's kid or like sign Vince Carter? Like,
I don't want to glaze, but it's so crazy what Bron's done. Like, dude, I can't.
No, I'm playing. I'm sorry.
If you think about it, like 20 plus years, he's playing. Not only playing at 39, but we had a rankings the other day, and we all had Bron at number 1 small forward. Is that not crazy?
No, it is.
No, 100%.
Like, bro, what? I'm just sitting here thinking, and when he's gone, that's gonna suck. Like, not playing basketball is just gonna be weird.
It will be weird, but as a Knicks fan, I'll be glad we don't have to face him anymore. Which is the biggest. I think that's the biggest compliment you can get from a competitor in a sport. Is I'm glad to not have to play you anymore. I think that's like the number one. Sure. You hear that? That's the biggest. That's the biggest compliment you can get from a competitor. Is I'm glad I don't got to play you.
Also, one of the next Lakers great will be to sign with us. It's coming soon in 40 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Is there a possibility Bron sticks around and play with Bryce, or is that just?
I don't know, bro.
Are we going too far into it?
If he wins championship with Bronny, why not? Hey, bro,
I think Bryce is actually the better prospect.
No, for sure, he's gonna be a better. Bryce is going to be probably. Oh, I don't know. I don't want to put any.
Is he?
I don't want to put anything into the wind though, but
in his trajectory than Bronny was at his age.
I think, honestly,
I think he's taller.
I think it's the same. I literally think it's exactly the same. Okay. Only difference is people are looking at his height. I think Bryce still has to translate his game just a little bit as far as like.
But I could tell you one thing.
The player, like shaping himself out to be a player. Like comparison, I'll compare like Cayenne Anthony. He's already figured out his game. I think he's complete. He's gonna go to college. He's gonna get drafted at the top.
He mimicked his dad,
and his
literally it's gonna be nice.
When I watch him, Gilbert Arenas' son too. Awesome, Carlos Boozer's sons.
Oh my God, they're gonna be so good. It's actually insane.
The next tier of NBA Suns kids is going to make the Jordan meme son thing a whole different story. Like I don't know what happened with this generation, but. Definitely skipped a little bit.
I think we finally fell into an era where
it's gonna be crazy.
The parents are like basically, I don't want to say putting them through the ringer at a young age, but training them, putting it in their head, putting it in their head, making sure they know what they're doing is right, and to make sure what you eat here is wrong, or what you do here is wrong.
Yeah,
like you could tell one thing about LeBron James' family. The one thing he prioritized in teaching his sons basketball is defense, because the two really good things that we could say about both of his sons is like they're probably like their defense is pretty impeccable. I'm not gonna say impeccable, but I'm gonna say their defense is pretty good.
Yeah.
Especially for their age. And Bryce is slimmer, taller. He might fit into a power forward center position when he's done. I don't know. Maybe
he's like 6'4". I don't know. He's not there yet.
How tall is he? I mean, sorry, how old is he? If he's 6'4", like 17, he could still.
Yeah, he's like he can definitely grow some more. He's like 6'4".
I think if he keeps growing and he winds up at 6'7", 6'8",
I'd say 6'5" max right now is what he's at.
Okay.
But
yeah, I mean, you make a good point, Omar. Like that players,
he's 6'6".
Parents are starting their kids on a basketball trajectory from like
Bryce is 6'6",
younger and younger. Like when you're going on to an AAU team, when you're getting into like when they're doing media training, when they're putting kids onto like high school radars and like college radars, like you definitely have seen it. Like it's getting younger and younger. Like, you used to be able to just get into basketball and like late elementary school, middle school, and still have a fine trajectory to the NBA. But now, if you're not hooping and like nationally ranked at 9, you're behind the curve. It's crazy.
You are.
And you know what's interesting too? Like, I think you put it best. Like, some of these kids, like their father, they know what it takes to get where they're going. Like, the best thing I've seen Carmelo Anthony, and shout out to Carmelo and Lala Anthony. I feel like even though they're not together, they do a really good job of like balancing like that whole family dynamic, which is cool to see. But basically, Melo was talking about, like, they were asking him about like what it's Kyan's plans and stuff for the future, and he was basically saying like, we're just gonna take it step by step, show him how to love the game of basketball, like all that, how many years you play, as long as it takes for him to figure out what he wants to do. That's how long it's gonna take. If he has to go to college for 4 years, he's gonna go to college for 4 years. If he's a one and done, then he's a one and done. But it's not about rushing the process. So I like that a lot. I think that's one thing I respect about Melo as far as like his training with his son. Not saying it's different from Bron or anything like that or any other athletes, but I think that what he's doing is nice. And like Gilbert Arenas too, I know he's so he says a lot of crazy stuff on his podcast, I will say. But his son, nasty. If everything about Gilbert Arenas' game he has, but the kid is 6'6", and he's like a sophomore, something like that, sophomore, junior, something crazy like that. So we got that coming up in the league. Carlos Boozer's kids. I mean, he's projected top 5 pick already. I mean,
he's
I don't know.
for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, he's a dog. So it's a lot of guys coming up who have like NBA family ties, and I just can't wait to see those. Like, imagine like how would y'all feel if you had? Sorry, I went out for a second. How would y'all feel if y'all had
it went dark and I was like,
Anthony or something like that on the Knicks, like Anthony for 3, like, but it's
that's the dream. That's the dream.
That would be crazy.
I saw something the other day that was talking about how the Knicks were actually trying to sign Melo, I think in 2022, 2023, like the year, that season where he wound up retiring at the end, but they were trying to get him on the team and the players wanted him. It just didn't
I think Melo wanted to.
It didn't work out.
I think Melo wanted to pull an Amare and sign like a 10-day contract and then retire as
No, I think he wanted to play. I think they were trying, like the Knicks wanted him to like come in and be a backup forward on that team. And the players wanted it, and they reached out, they had conversations, couldn't reach a deal for one reason or another. But I mean, that would have been sick because that was the first year of Brunson. That was when we that was when we beat Cleveland and played Miami in the second round. And we sorely needed a scorer in that second round other than Brunson. I think Melo could have come off the bench in that series and averaged 12 points a game. So sad that never happened. But maybe, like you said, Earl, maybe Kyan can come in here.
Bro,
he can be the backup scorer that we need.
I agree. I think that's one of those things where hopefully you guys, like, I'm even rooting for that, bro. I don't even care. That would be so cool to see. Hopefully y'all have, because I'm pretty sure y'all still have picks. So hopefully
we have picks. We have our own picks.
Later. Yeah, it's later. It's like 4 years from now.
I'm excited to see what happens, bro. But yeah, shout out to like the young guys out there trying to do their own legacy. I'm ready to see some part 2s of NBA guys. Like obviously we've seen some guys in the league, like
Gary Payton Jr.
Gary Payton Jr.
Scottie Pippen Jr.
Yep. Sabonis. Do people not know who Sabonis' dad was?
Okay, I actually have a bit of a hot take when it comes to this. It's funny, but I have a slight hot take.
Go ahead.
Arvydas Sabonis was great, but his son is so good that people retroactively now make his dad better than he was.
No, I agree with that.
Overrated because everyone's like, he's the son of Arvydas, and his dad, Sabonis.
His dad was a great
passer. He was a passer, which is true, but like
kind of
a little bit.
Think about his dad, like the LaMarcus Aldridge of the Portland Trailblazers. He was a really good player, but he never really got that shine because he wasn't really in the playoffs that much.
I feel like he was a little ahead of his time. Like he
was definitely. Yes, he was.
If you insert his career starting now in this NBA, I mean, not saying he would be Jokic, but like his passing was. He was a big man before stretch bigs
were valued.
Yeah, and he can shoot everything. He would fit perfect in this era. But
yeah, he would. And like, I'm not trying to like throw extra hate on Arvydas.
No, I know what you mean.
I just feel like
yes, you are.
Before Domantas Sabonis became really good, everyone just kind of understood Sabonis, like Arvydas Sabonis. But now that his son is really good in an all-star, people talk about his dad like he was Bill Russell. Like
it's hard.
I'm a little bit down.
It's hard to hit twice. Like have two father sons who are actually like both good.
Yes, very.
You know what I mean? like above average in their time.
Yeah,
so.
I mean they're both. I'm pretty sure if Arvydas Sabonis didn't make an All-Star team, he should have. So
yeah, he
have
was
a father-son All-Star is rare, and like I do respect Arvydas Sabonis.
He's cheesy in 2K too. Not gonna lie, can't even lie.
Listen, all I'm gonna say is I challenge you guys. I challenge you two and anyone listening. Take a shot of something. Doesn't have to be alcohol, but take a shot every time you hear Arvydas Sabonis mentioned on a broadcast because of Domantas Sabonis, where they say, "Oh, his dad was a great passer." Oh, his dad never got a shot in the NBA, or people forget how good his dad was. Take a shot. People know him more as Domantas Sabonis' dad than Arvydas Sabonis.
I'm a little concerned of what people are going to take a shot of.
Water, soda, ginger ale. Take a shot or whatever, but like, or just keep.
I thought you meant like a shot, like an injection. And I was like, what are you asking people to do?
You're literally the only
like a liquid shot.
That's insane.
What are you talking about, Omar? Jeez. You went off. You went off.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Word.
Sane Knicks fan. Insane Knicks fan.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Listen, there's no such thing as a sane fan of any team. Let's be real.
Yeah,
no, but I'm pretty sure.
And is short for fanatic.
I'm pretty sure next week we'll probably talk about some schedule release because that will be coming out later today.
We will cover the schedule next week.
We'll breakdown of Lakers and Knicks and all your favorite matchups. We'll talk about that and break it down for sure. But yeah,
we'll probably have one more because there seems to be a retirement break every week when we do this show. So there'll probably be there'll be some other guy who retires out of nowhere.
Can I call someone's retirement?
Sure. You want to call it?
Oh.
Call it.
Emmanuel Mudiay officially retires.
Oh my God.
Like,
I'll tweet it. Follow Beyond the Backboard Twitter.
Follow Beyond the Backboard on Twitter, guys. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok.
But someone I do think is crazy that isn't signed yet, and I'm starting to get worried he won't be signed. Markel Fultz is still a free agent.
No,
I was gonna guess that.
I don't think he's going to retire, but I'm wondering when he's going to announce his plans for next year. Because surely he's still good enough to be in the NBA, right? Like we didn't just completely forget he exists.
He's just waiting for us to clear up roster space. That's all. No, just playing. I don't think.
Oh, we forgot to talk about Patrick Beverley. I did want to bring up the fact that this man literally said.
And that'll do it for this week's episode of Beyond the Backboard Podcast. Thank you guys so much.
All right. Let me do it. Thank you guys so much for joining us on the Beyond the Backboard Podcast. Make sure to tune in tomorrow. We're going to drop our shooting guard list, top 5 shooting guards coming out in 2024. Small forwards. I'm sorry. Small forwards. Don't shoot me. I'm sorry. Small forwards.
What do they say?
GTA.
Don't shoot me. I'm sorry. But be sure to tune in tomorrow, guys. We're going to drop that at around 12 o'clock. Be sure to tune in. Follow us on Spotify, Podcast, TikTok, wherever you get your podcasts. And peace.
Thank you for watching me on the backboard. Have a blessed day.